Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? So Monday seemed to be quite a easy time for me to do these lives. So I think I'm going to do them on a Monday, and it kind of it's good for me because it's a nice restart for the week, and hopefully it gives you guys something for the week ahead as well. My hair's going a bit mad. Do you know when you have, like, obviously I've had long hair, short hair, long hair. Short hair seems to be different every single day, but I quite like that. Very Aquarian energy. So last week I spoke about thoughts, didn't I? I spoke about your thoughts and how your thinking can create your reality. Now this is really, really strange. So my son is 17, okay? He wouldn't have watched any of this. He doesn't go on any of my stuff. In fact, he avoids it like the plague. So we were just chatting in the week, and it's 16, sorry, not 17, he's 16, he's 17 in April. And he was telling me about an ex-girlfriend is now up to this and up to that, and that he could see it coming. And, you know, he's got a lovely girlfriend now, so he's quite happy. So I said to him, oh, okay. I said, do you ever get jealous? And he's like a Scorpio ascendant and Scorpio moon, which Scorpios are quite jealous. And we're not a jealous household, so his dad definitely wasn't jealous. I'm not jealous. It's not an emotion he's been around. But because of his Scorpio, I thought, oh, I wonder if, hiya Claire, hiya, I can't read now, Diane. I wonder if he gets jealous. I said to him, do you ever get jealous? And he was like, no, it's a wasted emotion. And I was like, huh, yeah, that's true. It is a wasted emotion. And he was like, I just don't see the point in it. What's the point in getting jealous? I'm like, okay, 16. And then he starts telling me that the way of your thinking, Mum, if you think in a certain way, you believe that, you create that. And I was like, I know. And I've never had these conversations with him. And then he says, you know, if you don't believe in something, or you don't want something to happen, or like be in your subconscious, then you just don't believe in it. And he said, like, I don't believe in jealousy, so I'm not going to get jealous. I don't believe in, he actually said depression and mental health. Now, he's had mental health illnesses, so he's aware that they're there, but he's like, I'm not owning it. I'm not going to allow it to happen to me. I'm not believing it. I'm not bringing it into my subconscious, therefore it won't happen. And like, he was just going super deep on this. Morning, Penny. And I was like, he's 16. And I was like, how do you know all this stuff? And he was like, he just looked at me, smiled, went, Andrew Tate. And I was like, oh, okay. I have mixed feelings because there's things going around him, isn't there? Anyway, and he's like, yeah, well, the things that are going around him haven't been proved. They're just trying to out him because he's speaking up. He's awake, Mum, and he's speaking up. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I knew all of that at 16 years old. So we had this deep conversation, and I started to tell him about The Secret and how Esther Hicks and Tony Robinson and literally the law of attraction, and he was bang into it. So then he's come back and he's like, Mum, have you heard of this person as well? And have you heard of that person? So it's really, really lovely. And it's good because, I like I said, I'm not sure about Andrew Tate, but there are so many speakers now on social media coming out and being awake and talking about this and talking about that, it's a lot more freer. Now he was saying like that what Andrew Tate is doing is trying to re-masculine men, and that's what people don't like, that it's all right to be a man's man. You don't have to always show your emotions. And I think we've kind of, over the years, it's gone from men being like too hard, too can't cry, can't show emotions, to like women then having to stand up and women being much more masculine. And then somewhere along the line, the balance has been tipped. And I'm not even going to go into it, but then there's like, women have always had to struggle in being a woman, and now with this non-binary stuff, I think we're going to have to struggle even more of owning our womanhood. But anyway, that's another subject. But what Josh was saying, like, in a nutshell, most, not all, but most women do like a man's man. Yes, we like them to be in touch with their emotions, but the bottom line is we do like a man's man. And Andrew Tate is trying to emphasise that it's all right to be a man's man. You can be whatever you want. You can be a very sensitive man, or you can be a man's man, but it's all right. It's more like, it's not where it's been frowned upon to be a man's man, or it's been like it's wrong if you're butch or whatever. Now it's like it's all right, you can just be what you want to be. So it was so interesting to have these conversations. And obviously I said to him, you know, yeah, it's great to understand that what you think you believe, and what you, if you don't want to believe in something, you know, he's like, Andrew Tate doesn't believe in depression, and he doesn't believe in mental health. And I said, well, you know that it's real because you've had mental health. And he's like, yeah, but I'm over it. I said, but you still have to acknowledge your emotions. You can't put a plaster on it or bury it. You still have to acknowledge some of those emotions. Otherwise that was going to cause much more problem later on. He's like, yeah, I understand that. But he said, you get two choices, don't you? He said, you could either stay in that depressive state and stay in that mental health, or you could help yourself and get out of it and work on getting out of it. And I was like, yeah, sink or swim. That's what I've always said, sink or swim with situations. And I was like, obviously, if you're going through like huge grief, I said, like, if you or your brother died, you know, I'm not just going to still live your life. And I'm like, wow, he's 16 and he's coming out of all this. So all this public speaking stuff that that's going on social media, actually, I think it's quite good for a lot of them to really, really own where they want to go and understand bigger pictures of things. So someone has commented and I can't read it. So it was just such an interesting conversation with a 16-year-old. And I was like, oh my God. Morning, Ashley. How are you? Claire, I've been having a conversation since the start of the month. I've just written a comment on your post. Oh, I'll have a look at that in a minute then, Claire. Interesting. So that was one of the things that I just wanted to share with you, that it's really, really nice that the younger generation are starting to realise that their thoughts do create their reality there, and that they do have the power to be able to change things if they want to change things there. The other thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit to do with this week's energies, with the moon's energies, because we have Mulk this week, which is a beautiful time of year. It's the time of 1st of February it starts, and it's the time of new beginnings. So we're in the first quarter of the moon, in between the new moon and the full moon, and this is a really good time to initiate any of those ideas. So on a new moon, we don't want to start doing new things, we just want to think about it. Now's the good time to be doing those things. And we're in a Taurus moon now, Taurus moon, Aquarius sun, Taurus moon. So this is a building energy. So we're building up on things. This is a time to not only sow our seeds. We look around. I saw daffodils the other day, which was bizarre, a bit early, but we're starting to see those shoots coming up, and that's what we're doing with our own energies. Things that we're thinking and what we want to be abundant later on in the year. Now's a really good time to start sowing those seeds. Usually around May time, we have, when it's May Day, we have we start to celebrate our fruition from what we've sown now. This is very much connected to the goddess Bridget as well, and the pagan and the Celts, it's a traditional celebration there, a ceremony there where we look at sowing our seeds, where we look at what we're going to put energy in for the next few months ahead of us. And then in May time, when we can enjoy that, we then start to enjoy the fruits of our labour for the summertime. Now, a few years back, I got into the habit of using the winter months as a time to not be right out there. I don't really go out in the winter. I tend to hibernate. I love it. 4 o'clock from like November, close the curtain, stay until March time. So I use that time to read, to brush up on my knowledge of things, to finish projects. A lot of writing goes on for me in those times, a lot of reading, and a lot of ploughing away to bring things to whatever for the spring. Now I work on that throughout the winter because I don't go out so much. Now I'm just starting to feel like shit, I need to really finish. Like my tarot cards, they're finished, but the book is it's been going on and on and on. It should have been finished by now, but I'm so close to finishing it, and then it can go off to the publisher. I'm making a couple of phone calls today, so hopefully something will fall into place with that. But for me now, this is a time of really investing something that you want to see progress later on. Then when it starts to become a little bit easier in the lights, you know, we're starting to see the sun, sun's not, or the light's not going down till about 5 now, is it? It's starting to get a little bit lighter in the evenings, and that energy starts to come back with us. Just seeing the shoots come up, seeing the daffodils particularly, and having that energy around us, like summer is on its way, spring is on its way, gives us a bit of an oomph to keep on going. We're going to be in this February. So February is usually a bit of a harsh month. Luckily, it's only a short month, but it comes and goes. January has come and go really quick actually this year. But it's with that energy for milk, with that energy for the new beginnings, we really want to set some seeds now. So think about what it is that you want. I love that as you come into the spring, all my hard work that I've done in the winter, my hibernating stuff, when I've just been ploughing away, it becomes, I can showcase it a bit more in the springtime. I can start to bring it out there a bit more. I'm not a fan of working in the summer, I've got to be honest. I like to, from about May, I like to just hang up the working gown and enjoy the summer months. I get so frustrated if I've got to do some, I don't mind readings, I'm not talking about that, but if I've got to do some written work for books or whatever, yeah, that annoys me all the way through the summer, all the way through. So I like to not put on too many workshops throughout the summer. In fact, last year it was so hot, I closed the shop several days and went down the beach. The joy of being self-employed. So the summertime is a really good time to get out there, and as the summer, the sun, it really warms not just your soul, but it warms your chakra system, it warms your aura. So it's a good time to be free and to connect to that inner child and to just enjoy things. And then when we come back into the autumn time, we start to wind down a little bit and we start to think, okay, what do we need to be doing? We're very much like the energy is like, oh, we're going to be coming to the end of the year, we've got to finish doing that decorating, finish doing that book, finish this, finish that. So we start to tie up loose ends, and then we start to really harvest and then work hard again throughout the winter in a deeper level, so that again it repeats itself. So now with this not spring energy, but with this energy that's just going to start to make us feel a little bit more spring-like, this is really good, especially with this Taurus moon today and tomorrow. This is a really good time to start really building on what it is that you want, what it is that you want to fulfill there. And that in mind with what I was saying about how to like change your thought pattern, this is a really, because again we've got that in between new moon and full moon, really good time to check in with your thinking, check in with any negativity that you've got around you, anything that you're just like, I'm done with. You know, the new year, perhaps you're like, this new year I'm going to be leaving that person, leaving that job, and maybe it hasn't quite happened like that, and you end up getting yourself into a bit of a rut, and before you know it, it's going to, morning Steph, before you know it, it's going to end up being another 6 months and you're still in a moody, moany place. So this is a really good time to put something new out there, or to start changing that mindset. And just like I was having that conversation with my son about not necessarily denying that something is there, but not allowing yourself to believe in it. Do you know, I don't believe in bad spirits. I just don't. I can't have it in my head. And although some people will go like, oh yes, it is, not in my world. It doesn't happen, and it won't happen. I don't believe in hell, so it won't happen. Some people say, oh, this is hell. I'm not for me. I'm loving life. I've never thought that this, what we're living in now, is hell. Because if you think it is, you're going to create it. It will be like that for you. It will be hell. Who wants to live in hell? Why would you choose that? So that's the good thing. You get to choose where your mind is at. There are illnesses out there. There are some, you know, very difficult times out there. But you have a choice of how you deal with it. You can sink or you can swim, and it's easy as that. Well, not as easy as that, but that's what it is. Bottom line, you've got two choices. So when we're faced with something challenging, we can use the energy around. We know, those of us that are into the spiritual belief system, we know that things happen not always for a reason. I think there's a fine line between that, but we know that there's a bigger picture. We know that our soul is learning from a difficult situation. So sometimes we can just use that. But sometimes there is that giving it energy and then feeding off it and having more of it. And then being like the one who is always sick always got this problem, always got that problem, because you're just used to it. You've just got that in that mindset. I think it's 28 days, they say. If you change your habits for 28 days, I think it's 28 days, then it becomes a new habit. It becomes a new thing. Whenever I'm poorly, unless I'm literally dying, I very, very rarely would post it. People wouldn't know. People certainly wouldn't know what was going on if there was any family drama. It just wouldn't know. And it's not about being fake, it's a little bit about being private. I don't feel the need to put everything on Facebook, to be honest, but it's about not giving it energy. And if you start putting out to the universe, oh, this is happening, I'm really pissed off with this person, or that's going on, and this is shit, and that's the energy that you're sending out, and that's it in the bottom line. So you actually do have the power to be able to change that negative thought pattern, without a doubt. If you, it's not as easy as that, so you have got to work on it. This is a perfect time of year as well, with a Malk, with this full moon that we've got coming up next week in Leo, which is the charmer, which is the inner child and the happy sign. This is a good time to sage, get some sage, and I've got comments I can't read, hold on. Thank you for this, you always speak so eloquently. Oh my god, my husband wouldn't think so, neither would my dad. He always says I'm like proper pompy girl. Anyway, yeah, this is a really good time to sage. Okay, so get some sage. If you haven't got sage, get some incense and just waft it around. I get lots of people coming in the shop asking, how do you sage your house, how do you cleanse your house? You can get people to come out and do it. I would be very wary at paying people. Okay, it's not, I don't believe it's well, I don't know, I'm not going to go down that road. Petrol maybe, but you know, anyway, it's something you can do yourself. So if you get some sage and a wafter or something like a feather, that's the word I wanted, you stand in the middle of your house, and everyone can do this differently, but for me, I stand in the middle of the house and I send a thought prayer out to Archangel Michael, because for me, he works on the banishing, he works on the clearing, he works on removing any energies that I don't want around me. Also, there could be some deities that you want to connect to, your God, whatever it is, and whoever it is, angels, wherever. You can say it out loud. For me, words have a vibration, so saying something out loud has more oomph with it, if you like, has more power with it. So I would stand in the middle of my room and say something that comes to mind to do with thank you. I always say thank you, I don't ask, because I feel like if you're asking, can you do this for me, you're giving them the choice to do it, but you're also like, has it been done or not? If you say thank you, then you sent that energy out that they've done it. It's done. So I always would say thank you, and then I would say my little prayer. I'm not going to share my little prayer because certain things are private, and I think it's important that you would create your own. So I would say something in the middle of my house that would connect to what I want doing or what I want to be done. You then can go around door areas and corners of the house are particularly known for collecting energy. Okay, so you would go around to the corners, you would go around to the doors and windows, wherever. Now, sometimes the smoke will really burn and you'll know that that energy is perhaps needing a bit more. Sometimes there's not a lot going on, you know, it's not too bad. So you can tell sometimes by the way that it smokes that it whether the energy really needs to be shifted there. And you just go around the whole room, around the whole house. I like to open my front door and back door because I like to let go of the energy and I like to bring in the positive vibes there. But every now and again you'll just feel like, oh, and the house needs a bit of a doing over, or the office or the shop or whatever. So this week is a really good week because we have Mark, we have that intention setting from the new moon. So think about what it is that you want to set. Now, as well as cleaning the air, as well as getting rid of the vibrations to just the old into the new, you can also use singing bowls. You can use, what are they, those chinky things? I forget what they're called, but they go ching, you know, I got them at work, at the shop. You can use music. Music is such a good way to do it. So whack the radio on, start singing, clapping in the corners is really good. Anything that's going to make you feel good, that raises the vibration, is going to raise the vibration in the home area. So you could literally anything. It might be, I don't know, could be anything that you fancy doing. I've got altars around the house, and I do like to set new intentions when we have new moons particularly. So I will use my tarot cards. I will use cards of energy that I want to bring in for that week or that time, whatever it is. So you can go through your cards, your angel card, tarot card, whatever it is that you've got, and you can pull cards out to create that manifestation. Crystals, we know that crystals work. New moons is a great time for them to go out, as is full moons. But now we've got the intent, so we've already cleansed them in that way, or you can smudge them as well with the smoke. But we want to be using them to raise the vibration. The other thing you can do if you're feeling your home is a little bit stagnant is to move 22 items. So this is a feng shui thing. Move 22 items. And you might think, I can't do that. But actually, if you look around, you've probably got loads. If you're like me, I've got loads of knickknacks. So shifting 22 items in a room will help the energy disperse of the old and recreate new. And that definitely works. And it doesn't feel like you're moving 22 things. Yeah, it really doesn't. Getting rid of things, broken things, either fix it or get rid of it. Don't hold on to it. Clothes, bags of stuff, you know. My brother yesterday told me that he's got a whole room and it's just full of crap. And I nearly had a stroke. I was just like, how could you have a room? That would send me overboard. A whole room that has got junk in it. I could not cope with that. And I was like, oh my God, no wonder this and this and this, like that needs to be cleaned. I just couldn't live with that. So think about rooms in your home, cupboards in your home, drawers in your home. I can't bear it. Think about things. Honestly, Colin thinks that I've got a slight ADHD tendency with things. He thinks I'm a little bit overboard with things. And you wouldn't come in my house and think it's a neat freak. You wouldn't be like, this is a showroom. Not at all. But I can't bear things out of place. I can't bear messy cupboards. I can't bear messy drawers. I can't bear clothes that aren't put away. Things like that. And to have a whole room would just send me Fruit Loop. So yeah, even cutlery drawers, I can't bear them not to be tidied. Is that weird or is that normal? Most people like that? I don't know. I do like a good cupboard sort out. Anyway, but it's good. It's good, and it does raise the energy. So go through your home, go through your wardrobe, go through things now. This is the week. This is a really good week to release things that no longer you want around you, and to check in with bringing a new vibration. So check in with your thought patterns. First of all, just going on from last week and going on what I said earlier about what Josh was saying about Andrew Tate, of all people, about literally, I don't think it's a good idea to bury things because it will come up as a different area. So we have to acknowledge them. But it is about how long we're going to own it, isn't it? How long we're going to allow it to suffocate us, and in that sink and swim, you know, I don't think we're living in hell. I really don't. And I think it's such a shame when people say, this is hell. Heaven's up there and this is hell. There are some shocking things going on in the world. Don't get me wrong, there's some terrible things going on in the world. But there's also some beautiful things, some stunning things. And a personal responsibility in my personal life, it's all right. I can't do much about the horrible things that are happening to other people. And if I was in their position, you know, some of those literally are living in hell. But for me, it's not. If I think about it too much, it could be for them. But like I said, you have to take personal responsibility for things as well. And there's fine lines between all of it. But I think it's sad when people that you just meet generally say, "Oh, I think this is hell." No, I think you can make the best out of a situation, to be fair. So think about your energies this week, because the energies that you're going to put out there this week is really going to go forward into the rest of the year. This is the energy that you're going to start to create, you're going to start to manifest. Okay, now those that are sick, those that are really poorly, it's not like you can wake up tomorrow and be better. It's not that, but your mindset will 100% help your body. And it's not like being dismissive that you're just not you're gonna bury your head in the sand and you're not gonna own something. It's not about that. It's realizing that you've got sink or swim. Perhaps you do have something wrong, but what can you do about it? You just got to make the best out of that situation. There's something that you're going to be able to do with it, and not perhaps not putting too much energy on it. You know, thinking rather than saying like, oh, I don't know, I feel really down, I feel really this, I feel really that. You know, we all want healing sent to us at times, so it's not like I'm saying don't ask for healing, but be grateful, like, oh, today I've had a really good day, or thanks for sending me all that healing, I can really feel a little bit better. I've got a hospital trip and they're going to make me better. Do you know what I mean? It's just changing your mindset rather than having that fear, rather than allowing something to take over and ruin your life, ruin your day, because it could be magical. It could be magical. So it's coming to the end, so I'm going to pull a card to see what we've got going on for this week's vibrations. Okay, but just have a think there. Honest to God, the conversation with a 16-year-old, I friggin' loved it. I can't wait to see what occurs later on in him. Ooh, so Page of Cups. Page of Cups, this is the energy. Now, the Page of Cups is a beautiful card. It's a very positive card for everybody here. And it talks about hope, optimism. It talks about offers, positive offers, surprise offers. It talks about new energy coming in. So just what we want this week. New vibe, new energy, new emotion. Very deep, very spiritual. So there could be some new spiritual openings for people this week. Now, pages, court cards in the tarot tend to be a bit difficult sometimes for people to read. They can't get their head around whether it's a person or whether it's a situation, because it has two styles of meaning. So for me, when I'm teaching the tarot, I say to people, just choose one or the other. Have an intent with it. Are you going to use the court cards as people, or are you going to use them as meanings, or both? Once you've decided how you're going to work with them, the other won't apply. So intent is huge. Pages are the seed, and that is perfect for this week with Imolk and that seed of inspiration that we're going to be having. Pages is the idea stage, the beginning stage. They are the thought process. This is the cups. So this is going to be a new idea around emotion, baby news. This is going to be a spiritual seed. This is literally the seed of something exciting and wonderful that's going to be coming up for everyone. That's the vibe that we've got. When we move into the night, we take that seed and we plant it. We take that energy and we move it forward. Nights are action cards, okay, and so on and so on. So pages, they have potential. So we will be offered amazing things. We can think amazing things. We can feel amazing things. We have the potential with this card to create wonderful things. But that potential is then down to us. If we don't do anything with it, it's just going to stay an idea. It's just going to stay a potential. So this is a fabulous card to indicate that something new is on the horizon, and there could be some new creative thoughts or some new ways of doing things. However, we have the potential, so it's down to us to actually move it on a step. It's down to us to start planting that seed. So put your money where your mouth is, really. Think about all this lovely energy. Think about the new options that are coming in, the new creative things that are coming in, and do something about it. Don't just let it be an idea there, but be open to some surprise new thoughts, surprise new vibes, surprise new emotions coming in. This is a great card, a really good card for everything that we've been talking about today. So have a wonderful Imolk this week. Do let me know what your plans are there. I've got a little place I'm going to where I shall be doing a little ceremony, so I'm looking forward to that. And I just love seeing all the new shoots coming up. They just like fill me with like, oh, I'm a proper spring summer person. As much as I love the season, I do love this new energy. I love new beginnings. I love to be able to, so bring in some new ways of thinking, guys. Really bring in some positive energies. And if things have just been a bit down for you, if things have been a bit negative, like I said, this is a great week to cleanse that home, to get rid of things, to open the windows. It's not too cold today, to let that air out and to just reshuffle all your cushions, give everything a bit of a going over, including yourself. This would be a really good week to detox, a really good week just to get everything out, have a good old clear out, and then have some fresh fruit. Things with seeds in them are going to be really good. So apples and lemons, things that have got a seed in them. You don't have to have the seed, but things that are going to bring fertility around you, not necessarily baby news, but new energy. That's the vibe that we're working on with Bridget there. So have a fabulous week, everybody. I hope you can take that message. Lots and lots of fabulous energy to everyone, and I'll be back for another little Monday motivational chat and my cup of tea next week. Take care.